judge not. In judging others, as the author of the Imitation of Christ says, one is often much in error, whereas in judging oneself, one is always profitably employed. Is it not true that we tend to make excuses for ourselves, but those excuses are not quite as abundant in the case of others, for we think that we know a lot about them. Tout savoir, c'est tout pardonner. To know everything is to pardon everything. Indeed, people are led on by a lot of conditioning. Each one operates within his own universe and sphere. Having said that, the Lord does allow us to observe. For in another passage he does say, by their fruits you shall know them. And to be a bad judge of character is not helpful in the case, for instance, of someone who is responsible for discerning vocations, or orientating souls, or managing a diocese. And alas, what tends to happen if we look around in our day is that people are put in places of authority on managerial grounds. And a manager is not a father. There are certain things which belong to the domain of maintaining a system, but there are others that belong to another domain of a supernatural order, and it is not enough to maintain a system. The gifts that need to accompany spiritual paternity are of a different order, and if they are lacking, one has a great system that works perfectly, but without life. What is the life that the Lord wants for his people? In this passage of St. Luke, a very rich passage from the 6th chapter, we have a lot of bullets being fired, and they all go in this direction of being icons of the Father's goodness. It is sad if Christians are poor icons. As Catholics, we need to be careful. We are up against it right now on two fronts. If we start to have moral standards below that of, for instance, certain Islamic brethren on one or two matters, there is something wrong. If also our worship is inferior on certain levels to those of our Protestant brethren or Eastern Orthodox ones, we need to start asking a few questions. Unfortunately, in the Republic of Ireland, there is an endemic problem. It's the fact that we are not challenged. There's no opposition. The Catholic ethos is out there, and the parish church is always Catholic, and one doesn't see anything different. There are places where the Sunday Mass is very, very short. I was just passing our parish church the other Saturday evening, and I noticed that the Mass, which had started at 7 o'clock, was already over at 7:30. Indeed, it was already over at 7:20, and people were coming out already at that moment. Whereas in the East, they have 3 hours, and our Protestant brethren have always now. Why are we in such a hurry? We have plenty of time to watch screens, but 20 minutes is enough for God on His day. Is it?
Obswerving corpus natum de Maria Virgine, venere passum immolatum in cruce promine, cuius natus perforatum fluxit aqua et sanguine. Est nobis pregus datum mortis